If your March Madness bracket is busted already, don't worry, you are not alone. Roughly 99.9% of the men's brackets are busted already. And I know you're a country guy, I'm a country girl from a small town similar to this, probably smaller. And so when you look at the devastation, the number of homes lost, the amount of resources you guys had to bring in, the work that's still left ahead, how does a rural county like Brantley absorb this kind of blow? A lot of the Chiefs fans have traveled here. I met a few over the weekend talking about coming to this game, so we definitely have to represent. We're going to continue to hang out down here, keep an eye on the skies, continue talking to fans, and we're going to have another live report coming up for you at 5 and 6. Emily? And I'm Tenikka Hughes. Melissa Woods' daughter tells us that she was one of the people shot and killed in Ponte Vedra Beach on Friday night. Her ex-boyfriend now faces murder charges. Action News Jack's Deja Mayfield joins us live. And Deja, this family is devastated.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the eve of the Army-Navy game for this Action News Jack special. I'm Brent Martineau.
And I'm Tenikka Hughes. We are going to preview the Army-Navy game, but also show you the impact that both branches have here on our hometown. Thanks so much for joining us live from Mayport. But we're not alone. We do have team coverage. Action News Jack's Ben Becker will give us a look at the Wounded Warrior Project here in Jacksonville. Dan Hicken, he has been to the Army-Navy game, and he says, put this on your bucket list. Jake Stofan is going to take us to Camp Blanding, and Chief Mike Burrish will give us our game day forecast. And this is not just a football game, Brent. Of course, this is a week full, a day full of pageantry all around a football game. And we're going to show you some of the traditions of the game a little later in the show. But this game is really, again, iconic because of the pageantry mixed with the football. And now we want to welcome in the commanding officer here at Naval Station Mayport, Captain Mike Trumbull. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Yeah, thanks, Tenikka. I'm pretty excited to be here.
And we already know who you're rooting for, so tell me, how does the Navy ethos translate to the football field? All right, Mike. Well, new at 4, we've learned that a local volunteer firefighter died while battling a wildfire in Nassau County. The town of Hilliard says that James Kevin Cruz died yesterday evening after he had a medical emergency while fighting the Old Dixie Highway fire in Hilliard. In a statement, the fire chief, Jerry Johnson, said in part, the department and our community have lost a hero and that they are focused on supporting his family and their personnel during this unimaginably difficult time. Cruz had been with the Hilliard Volunteer Fire Department for 2 years and was assigned to Station 4. He started his firefighting career in Ware County, Georgia. For live updates on the local wildfires, go to actionnewsjax.com, the Action News Jax app. You can also check the First Look Weather app and of Action News Jax Now live stream. You'll find information on road closures, shelters, burn bans, and how to protect your home ahead of a fire. Covering St. Johns County now, Florida's education commissioner is accusing the St. Johns County school superintendent of encouraging teachers to vote against pro-school choice lawmakers. But it's a claim that the superintendent denies. Action News Jack's state and local government reporter Jake Stofan is live in St. Augustine. And Jake, you spoke with the superintendent about all this afternoon. Action News Jax told you earlier this month that the Union County School District is facing a budget shortfall of $1.4 million. The county is under a state of emergency because of this, and now the state is stepping in to handle their finances. Superintendent Mike Ripplinger blamed their crisis on Florida's private school voucher program. A nonpartisan research group says Florida's universal voucher program redirects about $5 million away from public schools. In a smaller district like Union, that impact is felt more quickly because state funding makes up most of the budget. New at 4, Florida's Attorney General jumping into the JEA controversy. James Uthmeyer issued a subpoena to the utility. That subpoena requests communications related to JEA's former contract with Ballard Partners, the local lobbying firm that employs former Jacksonville Mayor Lenny Curry. Coming up at 6, we're going to explain why the subpoena is different from the one from the state attorney's office. New at 4, the Florida legislature will hold a special session next week to consider 3 bills at the top of Governor DeSantis' agenda. Lawmakers are considering redrawing congressional districts, installing regulations on artificial intelligence, and expanding exemptions to vaccine requirements for children in public K-12 schools. Governor DeSantis says it's important to ensure the vaccine exemption legislation becomes law. The special session is set to start on Tuesday. A swatting call forced Fort White High School to go into lockdown in Columbia County. The sheriff's office says someone called them yesterday morning threatening to shoot up the school. Deputies say the school was put on lockdown, as well as other Fort White campuses nearby. They say they investigated the phone call, found it was a swatting call, and the threat was not credible. Deputies don't know the identity of the caller. All right, Clay County parents, the 2026 through 2027 bus registration is open. So now is the time to start planning for your next school year. Registration takes two steps. First, access your bus planner parent portal, and then you want to complete those registration forms. For more information on eligibility checks, IEP students, and walk zones, visit actionnewsjax.com. We are here live in Waynesville, right outside of the parking lot of the Satilla grocery store for our wildfire relief day. And this store has really been a focal point for most of the firefighting response and resources for families. There's even a Samaritan's Purse, a Billy Graham bus, rapid response team set up here. We've seen neighbors coming in and out, and first responders use this as a touch point during this process.
So we'll be pulling resources from all over the state of Georgia.
And quickly, how are you doing? How are the folks around you doing? Because this is a lot.
Well, I shared with you that I meet with a group of guys that are pretty intentional about our faith, and they keep me lifted up in prayer. But
absolutely it is, and the fans are starting to file in, so you can't miss them. Something else you also can't miss out here, of course, is the construction. But if you're heading down to the bank and you want to take a photo with the Jaguar statue out front, it's actually wearing a construction cap. So a little nod to the stadium of the future. Right now, I want to get out to Action News Jax. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Mike Burridge. Yes, and I'm going to just step out of the way just a bit so you can see some of these lines here behind me. This closest line to us, these are folks waiting to get into gate 2. And now they are starting to move because, as you said, the gates have opened. And right now, I want to welcome in First Alert Chief Meteorologist Mike Burridge, who's standing here with me. We've been waiting, hoping, fingers crossed, not to see any rain.
Right, and we've had a few sprinkles, but not much.
More than half of adults struggle to read beyond a 6th grade level.
And those literacy challenges are often passed on to their children. Action News Jax' Tenikka Hughes explains how a local literacy effort is helping break that cycle.
Well, kids are heading back to school, and with that comes homework. But imagine struggling to read your child's assignments. That's a reality for thousands of parents across our community, and those literacy challenges are often passed down to their children. In an Action News Jax investigation, I explore the efforts to support families and students in Duval County and introduce you to a mother working to break the cycle for her kids and herself.
Brown bear, what do you see?
It's a brown bear.
Yeah.
For Kenesha Brown, every story time with her children is a small victory.
I see a teacher.
She earned her high school diploma and is employed, but says her learning differences have made reading a challenge that she's still working through today.
I have trouble with reading and sometimes comprehending, but reading most of my challenge.
She isn't alone. Data shows more than half of the adults in the U.S. read below a 6th grade level. And in Florida, about 1 in 5 adults struggle with basic literacy skills.
Parents, they want to see their students succeed, but they might not always have the tools or the supports necessary to help the child.
Raising the risk of intergenerational illiteracy. A recent study by the Jacksonville Public Education Fund found that it's also one of the top barriers impacting children's literacy skills right here in Duval County.
We really need to strengthen a birth to third plan. And so, a lot of times we think about learning happening or starting or, some of these reading skills beginning when kids are in kindergarten. No, this happens before kids are born.
JPEP President Rachel Tutwiler Fortune says the county has made notable progress bridging early literacy gaps through curriculum focused on the science of reading, strengthening family partnerships, coaching for educators, tutoring for students, and school and community-based wraparound support, including partners like the Literacy Alliance of Northeast Florida. It's where Kenesha turned to for help, enrolling in reading and math classes.
It really, truly has opened up my eyes to try to do much better in life.
Marcus Hale is president and CEO and says they offer flexible, free programs designed to meet people where they are.
Oftentimes the barriers will become, I don't have the time, or I won't have the resources, or I just won't be able to make it through. And we want to assure them all that we're going to work with them to make sure that they get to their goal for as long as they take. We will not stop.
Kenesha's goal is to change her family's future by showing her children what's possible, one page at a time.
A green frog, a yellow ducky.
You can take a look at that full JPEF study and learn more about local literacy resources at actionnewsjax.com. In the studio, Tenikka Hughes, Action News Jax.
Right now.
Tenikka, it was a tragedy felt all across the city of Jacksonville in 2017. 3-year-old Amari Harley died after falling into an unsecured septic tank at an Arlington park. I'm Ben Becker.
And I'm Tenikka Hughes. His death sparked outrage, lawsuits, and a promise to improve park safety and accountability. But I've learned that a special council established in the wake of Amari's death to make sure that all families know about the safety of local parks hasn't been able to complete its duties for years. Among swings and slides and spaces for fun at Bruce Park sits a memorial for Amari Harley. The superhero-loving toddler died at the park after falling into an unsecured septic tank in October 2017. This was former Jacksonville Mayor Lenny Curry after Amari's death.
I want every family in the city to be safe. I think you know that that's my commitment. And where there's neglected infrastructure, we've got to address it.
Amari's family settled out of court with a contractor responsible for maintaining the septic tank and with the city of Jacksonville. They also pushed the city to establish a public facility safety officer and provide more transparency to families about safety at city parks. The result? Former Mayor Curry issued an executive order establishing a Park Safety Council, a group of volunteers from each of the city's planning districts tasked with establishing written park safety standards, reviewing park inspections done by the safety officer, and publishing quarterly reports for the mayor, city council, and media. According to the executive order, the 6-member Park Safety Council needs a quorum or majority of 4 people to vote on items and finalize the quarterly reports. Each report required to carry these words, submitted in memory of Amari Harley, and is a testament to the need to remain ever vigilant. But when I started looking into the Park Safety Council, I noticed the same problem year after year. The council hasn't been able to fulfill its duties because not enough members are showing up. What percentage of these meetings would you say you have not had a quorum present?
At least 75%.
Bruce Tyson has served as volunteer chair of the council since it launched in 2021. How many reports have you put out for the public since 2021?
1. Because we didn't have a quorum for any more.
1.
We've done our job as far as writing the safety standards. We've done our part as far as reviewing the inspections and going over them. The thing we have not been able to accomplish, the transparent part, putting out the reports that were generated, that would have been generated had we had a quorum to pass them.
Tyson says he's asked several times over the years whether the executive order could be amended to allow a smaller quorum. He also thinks the application process to bring on volunteers for the council should be streamlined.
And I've made that request to several different people and entities, and so far I've seen no action on it.
In January of this year, Tyson told me he was notified 2 new volunteers will be joining the Park Safety Council, but he says they haven't shown up to any meetings. I shared my findings with Amari's family attorney, Kay Harper Williams.
To hear that a large component of what we worked to achieve here and in protecting kids in the city going forward is not actually materializing in the way that we intended is frustrating, it's sad, and it requires attention.
I asked the city several questions, including whether current leadership was aware of the quorum issue and if any changes would be made to the executive order. Tyson, who's already served beyond his initial term, says he's determined to see this through.
I'm not giving it up until we get it going. I'm committed to getting the Park Safety Council where it needs to be.
I would hope that this story spurs action, and we don't have to evaluate any sort of legal remedies here because it's honestly the right thing to do. And it's what we owe to Amari Harley and to the children of Jacksonville.
The Park Safety Council met yesterday. Tyson says once again, they did not have a quorum. The city did respond to my questions. A spokesperson tells me the city is considering a change to the Park Safety Council so that they can work with a quorum of 3 members instead of 4. The city says that safety and regular inspections at parks are a top priority. So why is all of this important? Well, if the city makes the change to the executive order and the volunteers show up, the Park Safety Council will finally be able to put out those quarterly reports. That means we, the media, will get those reports, which means that your family will know about what's happening to keep parks safe in your community. I'll keep you posted. Well, you may have noticed more for rent signs or listings in your neighborhood. A local real estate expert says in the last couple of years, Jacksonville has seen 4 times the amount of rental properties than we normally do. So what's behind it? More local homeowners are becoming landlords. And tonight I take a look at what's driving people into the rental game and the push from Washington that could shake things up. Becoming a Navy wife took Shayna Smith and her family all across the country. After arriving in Jacksonville about 5 years ago, they wanted to put down some roots and found the perfect home.
It had a big kitchen, no carpets. It was a 3-bedroom. I didn't want a big house.
But a season of new beginnings gave way to heartbreak. 2 years ago, her husband, Kelly Smith, passed away. The loss led Shayna and their girls on a journey of healing and a new chapter.
They just had too many memories, and I think we just needed a fresh start. So that was the biggest thing.
She put their house up for sale and found a new place to live, but her former home sat on the market for 6 months.
Very stressful. Obviously, I had to cut back on a lot of things.
The wait pushed Smith to consider renting out her home instead, and she turned to Mario Gonzalez, broker-owner of Navy to Navy Homes, for help. Gonzalez is also past president of the Northeast Florida Association of Realtors and says more homeowners are becoming landlords as a ripple effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. Early on, many homeowners locked in record low mortgage rates, dropping to 2.65% in 2021. And for some, those rates were too valuable to give up.
So we saw really kind of in 2024, when a lot of these people were moving, they were turning these homes into rentals because they had locked in a 2.5–3% interest rate, which they'll probably never see again in their life, and that really flooded the market with rentals.
The pandemic also drove home prices up, and interest rates also started climbing again, creating a different challenge for other homeowners looking to move on.
They're what we call the accidental landlords. They probably can't sell. If they bought around 380 and their home is worth 380 right now, they can't afford to sell because they haven't had enough time to push that equity down,
pushing them to turn their homes into rental properties instead. Recent numbers from real estate data company Batch Data found in the third quarter of 2025, small mom and pop investors with 1 to 5 properties owned 92% of all investment properties in the U.S. A growing shift from a trend I first investigated in 2021 as a part of our ongoing Priced Out of Jacks series. Then I uncovered a quarter of all single-family homes in Duval County were owned by real estate investment companies. Batch Data found Jacksonville still remains in the top 5 cities where large institutional investors own homes. This, as the White House says, President Trump is pushing to stop Wall Street from competing with Main Street home buyers, signing an executive order in January to restrict institutional investors from buying up single-family homes.
As a residential property manager, we represent individual homeowners, and that will make the competition a little less fierce for them, so their homes will probably run a little faster.
As for Shayna, after waiting a half a year for her home to sell, she locked down a renter in just 30 days.
When we bought the house, the interest rate was good. Mortgage is less than what I'm renting it for.
And a home she once planned on letting go is now a part of her family's legacy.
Again, my husband passing, it's changed my perspective on life. And I'm like, anything can happen. And I just want to leave a good foundation for my kids. That's my biggest thing. And I want to make them proud.
And Mario Gonzalez says ultimately your home is an investment. And when it comes to selling or renting, talk to an expert who can advise you on your options so you can make the best decision for you and your family.
After a controversial Florida law banned people sleeping and camping on the streets, the Homeward Bound program was put forward as a potential lifeline.
It offers a chance for homeless people to leave Jacksonville and reunite with their loved ones for free. Tonight, I explore the program is leading to change or just a change of address. It was a frigid Tuesday morning when we set out with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office bike unit through the streets of downtown, a part of their daily patrols, interacting with people who are homeless or in transition.
Good morning. I'm blessed. How are you?
Pointing them to local services.
Do you know about the shelters in the area? It's going to be a cold night, cold week.
And for those not from our area,
are you from Jacksonville?
A way home.
Have you heard about our Homeward Bound program? If you have family within the United States that's willing to take you, we'll give you a free bus ticket to go up there to them. Is that something that interests you?
Very much so. The Homeward Bound program you heard the officer mention relocates people living on the streets of Jacksonville to their hometowns or where they have a support system free of charge. It's paid for by JSO through money seized from criminal investigations at no cost to taxpayers. It's been around for years but was pushed into the spotlight after Florida's ban on public sleeping and camping went into effect in October 2024. JSO District 1 Commander Jimmy Rick says while enforcing the law, officers raise awareness about the program and other resources.
This program and this law has allowed us to nudge people into services, and it's helping them.
The nonprofit Downtown Vision administers the program in partnership with the Sheriff's Office. CEO Jay Gordon says after participants clear JSO's background check, they help them get a Florida ID, handle travel arrangements, and confirm there will be someone meeting them at their destination.
We don't just want to send people out and they don't have a safe place to land.
Gordon says more than 800 people have taken advantage of the program since October 2024, traveling to 49 states. I wanted to hear from some of them, and I asked Downtown Vision for contact information for recent travelers. 53-year-old Christopher Hicks answered my call.
Hi, this is Tenikka Hughes.
He says he came to Jacksonville in November for a warehouse job that fell through, ended up in a shelter, and used the program to get to Atlanta in January.
When you left Jacksonville, who met you in Atlanta?
My lady friend.
And have you been able to find any employment yet while you've been there?
I'm looking for it now.
Do you feel a bit more stable having someone there with you versus being in Jacksonville?
Yes.
What about critics who say you're only moving people, you're not fixing the actual problem?
This is a voluntary program, so they want and need help. And then, there are a lot of other programs that we need to make sure they're getting the support that they need. But generally, this program helps people just get home, and they're very happy when they're home.
Commander Rick says the program has led to noticeable changes downtown, too.
Doesn't mean we've solved homelessness. Downtown is much safer. Last year, just alone, we were at 18% at the end of the year, and most of the year we were 20% down in violent crime and property crime. They're not having the same type of crimes happen because there's not the encampments that are in public view. There's not people getting approached as much because there's not as many homeless downtown.
As for Christopher,
are you glad that you took advantage of the program? Are you happy that you were able to get to Atlanta?
Yes.
Commander Rick says that since the public sleeping and camping ban went into effect in October of 2024 and the end of January this year, JSO gave out 1,642 warnings and made 592 arrests. In that same time, I'm told 802 people used the Homeward Bound program. Now, I did ask, but I was told there's really no way to track how many people may be coming into Jacksonville through similar programs.